And welcome to the Q&Q from Ask Yourself This. This is where I give you a quote and a question for the day. The quote, just a cool quote that I found out there in the internets. And the question inspired by that quote. Sometimes it's fairly obvious. Today's a fairly obvious one. Sometimes it takes a bit of a, wow, how do you get there? And that's why we do these videos every single day-ish. The videos do a bit of an extra explanation of what's going on in the thought process of the quote to the question and why the question is actually a viable question. Sometimes you question whether the actual me asking the question is more on the silly level, and sometimes it is on the silly level. But there's a deeper message to come from doing the actual work of the journaling and going through the question. Now, if you just want to take this quote and question and roll along with it, run it through your head real quick and kind of just go through your day, that's fine. Every single morning at 6:35 a.m. on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, you get your quote and question, and you can find us at Ask Yourself This on Facebook, Ask Yourself THI _ on Twitter, and Ask Yourself This _ on Instagram. 6:35 a.m. Central Time, you'll get the quote and question, and it's there. Now, what we'd like you to do is go a bit deeper. We'd like you to actually use this as a journal trigger, a topic to write about if you don't know what to write about, or just in general to try to see how you are going and growing. You can take anything that's pen and paper, or you can pull out your phone and use your notes app like I do for my questions on things. I put all my things in Evernote so they are easily shiftable. But there was a time where I was really big on paper notes. I'd still take paper notes, but now I mostly transcribe them for ease of use for me. Now, something I did early on that I don't do as much well is do the paper journal thing and do things journaling specifically for paper for posterity. And that's what we suggest you might want to do with that. If you're in a place where you want to really learn and grow about yourself, you need to kind of take a snapshot of where you are and then go further into the future and look back. Get a spiral bound notebook, get a journal from your local bookstore, or check out the link in the description for this video where there's links for our Ask Yourself This of journals. One spiral bound, one is hardbound. They're very nice looking journals, so you can take them along without people asking like, what's that weird thing you're carrying, because it's a nice journal. But they may ask you where it is, what it's for. And you can just say, I take my notes in it. It's something to help me remember things. So it works like that. We also would like you to share some of your answers, if you're up to it, on social media. The social media sites I already listed, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. You can answer in the comments there, but we'd really love you to like, love, and share the actual questions. The more engagement we get, the more we know we picked a good question that week or that day, and maybe a good quote, maybe both. And then we are going to use those in another way, recycled, if you will. We'll explain that towards the end of the video. Right now, let's get into today's quote and question. It is the 6th of August, 2018, Monday, by the way. The quote for the day is from Charles Dickens. There is a wisdom of the head and a wisdom of the heart. Read it one more time. There is a wisdom of the head and a wisdom of the heart. Which inspired this question, pretty obvious question from the quote. Are your heart and your head currently in agreement? This is a question that should be easy to answer, and the answer is something you may not like. Are your heart and your head getting along right now? Are the things that you know and the things that you feel in alignment? Are you moving towards your goals with a clear head and a pure heart vision? Or is the heart getting in the way of your clear thinking? Or is your clear thinking, maybe not so clear thinking, getting in the way of your true desires? Sometimes it's hard to separate the thought process from the feeling process and all the things you want to do, especially if you are pursuing something that's a bit risky and people don't quite understand it. This project right here, not as risky as other projects I've put out there, but this is one that a lot of people don't really get until they see it in action. Trying to do a video every morning is part of it. Trying to get into people's heads, if you will, with the journal topics and questions is another part of it. Why is it all that important? What's the point? Is it going to pay off? And the answer to that question, answer to that question is, here's how it pays off. I get a chance to interact with people in a very different way than what I do normally. Normally, I'm chasing people for news stories and information. This is getting to know them in their hearts, if you will, can know what they're going through and how they're doing it. And this is something that I do personally and have been doing personally for a long time. And in this format, in various formats, for almost a decade or so. So this is something that's ingrained in me as something that is a good thing to do, and I'm trying to share it. So that's how it pays off for me. But is my head and my heart aligned in this project? Currently, it is. And here is how. Going into the business side of the business that I'm doing, this is something that's not quite paying the bills yet, not quite paying for itself yet, but it is a project that, because it's been a long gestation and it's gone through different iterations, it was easy to initiate this year on January the 1st and just kind of do it and then grow it into what it needs to grow into, because it's a familiar. So on that end, it's a familiar task. It's taking over some other tasks that I no longer do in my business stuff. So it fills a gap there, and it has a path towards profitability. The path takes a little while. These things take time, but it has a way to do all the things to make it not just a little pet project, but something that's actually business viable. So my head, who wants to do more of these things but make them profitable, and my heart, who just wants to do more of these things, are currently in alignment with the project. Now, if the project does not do what it needs to do financially, or just goal-wise, just hitting benchmarks, keying people in, then it may get replaced by something else. That's a time where my heart and my head, because I love the project, but the project is not doing the metrics it should be, is an issue. Right now, my heart and my head in alignment with this project in particular. Other projects, not so much, but those are being dealt with piece by piece. And that's the question you need to ask yourself. Are you in agreement with your head and your heart? The actual question reads, are your heart and your head currently in agreement? Not sure the semantics matter in that case, but you get the question, you get the gist, you get what I'm asking you. As we said, we'd like you to actually journal this and then look at this in the future, look at it next week, next month, next year, and see what you thought about on this day and how you're doing on that day. Maybe you've gotten better, maybe the situation's gotten worse. If you're up to it, if you're feeling brave, share your answer with us on our social media. On Facebook, ask yourself this. On Twitter, ask yourself THI_, and on Instagram, it is ask yourself this _. Now, we're looking for responses to these on the social media. It's very important to do that, because we want to know which questions are the better of the bunch. We are doing a brand new thing, a daily worksheet that allows you to get through your planning for the day with my Daily Dozens planner sheet, and a space that's open for your ask yourself this question. Or some people are using it for just general notes. They do their ask yourself this someplace else and think about it, but they use the other page for notes to carry around. If that's what you want to do, that may be well, if that's what you want to do, that's what you're going to do. There you go. So we'll tweak the sheet and say that as a partial feature, that you have a notes page to go along with your daily planner. But it's something that you can check out right now as well. Check out the description link in this video, and you'll find a link to grab all of August's sheets. We're going to do them a month at a time, so you can take them, you can print them out. They come in order, or at least they're numbered order, but you can print them and use them in any order you want to. They are, oddly enough, corresponding with the dates, although there's no date on the sheet, of the quotes and questions per the month. So in about a week or so, we will release September, so you can get ahead of yourself. Or if you've already behind on August, maybe you just want to go ahead and jump on this thing next month, we'll figure it out. As long as you're trying, you're probably trying towards the forward. Thank you so much for joining us for the Q&Q for Ask Yourself This, the 6th day of April. Did it again, August 2018. Jay Cleveland Payne with this long-going project. Glad that you're along with us. Follow us on our social media to find out what's going on. Sooner or later, we'll have a real live website to house all the stuff here. But for the most part, you can get everything you need via Facebook. That is at facebook.com/askyourselfthis, checking things out and see how they go. And if you want to contact me directly, email me at jclevelandpayne@gmail.com. or see about other projects going on at jclevelandpayne.net. We have some sort of home there at jclevelandpayne.net. We're trying to work on the whole domain thing directly from Ask Yourself This. We'll figure something out soon. In the meantime, in between time, prepare yourself for your day today and prepare yourself for the week ahead, or however it's defined by you. And hopefully you're going to share some time with that and some of your knowledge, some of your answers with us here to Ask Yourself This. Thank you. We'll talk to you for tomorrow's video for the 6th of August, 2018.